Hi, my name is Robert Schwartz, and I'm an American hypnotist specializing in something called a between-life soul regression, in which you can find out what you planned for this lifetime before you were born. I'm also the author of two books, Your Soul's Plan, Discovering the Real Meaning of the Life You Planned Before You Were Born, and Your Soul's Gift, The Healing Power of the Life You Planned Before You Were Born. I will be in your beautiful country in Poland the last weekend of October to offer my workshop, which is titled Awakening to Your Life Purpose, Discovering Your Life Plan. And in this video, I'd like to describe to you what we will do in the workshop. So the workshop will begin with a talk, about an hour and a half or so, in which I'll share my own personal story, the spiritual path I followed to do the work that I do now. And then I will share with you the results of my research, the 5 main reasons I found why we ourselves plan great challenges before we're born. Then I'll share with you some true stories of pre-birth planning so that you can get a better sense of how it works. And then I'll take questions. Now, later in the workshop, we'll do several different kinds of experiences and exercises that are intended to give you insight into your specific plan for this lifetime. One of these is called the Divine Virtues exercise. What I discovered over a period of years as I researched many people's pre-birth plans is that a lot of the conversation in the pre-birth planning sessions, which we were able to hear through the working with very gifted mediums and channels, a lot of that conversation revolved around the soul's desire to cultivate and then express, while in body, certain qualities that are very important to the soul. And I gave these qualities the name Divine Virtues. It's things like compassion, patience, unconditional love, forgiveness, and so forth. I put together a list of the ones that came up the most often. There's now about 28 on that list. These virtues, your desire to cultivate them before you were born, is one of the main reasons you planned the big challenges you planned for this lifetime. So in the Divine Virtues exercise, I'll take you through a process in which you can determine, it's usually 2 or 3, the 2 or 3 virtues you are working on in your current lifetime. And once you know that, that's very important information to have, because then you can go about cultivating and expressing those virtues in a much more conscious and presumably much less painful manner. We will also do 2 group hypnotic regressions. The first of these is to contact a deceased loved one. We do this for 2 reasons. One, of course, is so that you can contact a deceased loved one. And if the form that the communication takes is verbal, you can ask the deceased loved one what your plan was with them. But there's another equally important reason why we do the contact a deceased loved one regression, and that is it's a very good practice for the much longer group between life soul regression that will follow it. So it increases the success rate in the between lives regression. Now let me describe what happens in a between life soul regression, because that is certainly the highlight of the workshop. We start with a number of preliminary steps, which are intended to relax you. After we've completed these preliminary steps, I will guide everyone into a past life. It's almost always a past life that had a major impact on the plan for the current lifetime. At the end of the past life, a portion of your consciousness crosses over and goes home, so to speak, to the other side. When you get there, I'll prompt you to ask for a spirit guide to come to you, and you can then ask the guide any questions you have about why you were shown that particular past life and how it impacted the plan for your current lifetime. We then ask your guide to escort you to your council of elders. The council consists of the very wise, loving, and highly evolved beings who oversee the growth, the evolution of you, your particular soul. Your council knows everything about you, not just what you planned for this lifetime, but also what you've planned for future lifetimes and everything you've done in past lives. So when you get in front of the council, they can answer any question you put to them. I will prompt you to ask a very long and extensive series of questions that will cover all the major areas of your life. And by the time that process is done, you should have a very good idea of what you planned for this lifetime, why you made those plans, how you're doing in terms of fulfilling your pre-birth plan, and how you can fulfill the plan even better. So this process usually takes between 2 and 2.5 hours. Then you'll have some time to write about your experience in your journals, and then we'll have a period of sharing. By the time the workshop is over, you should have a very clear idea of your life plan. A lot of people will come out of the workshop saying things like, the counsel answered every question I have about my life, and I have no more questions. So it is potentially a life-changing and transformative experience. My website is yoursoulsplan.com. You can read large portions of the English versions of the books for free on the website. And I hope that you will consider coming to the workshop in Warsaw the last weekend of October. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me through the contact form at yoursoulsplan.com. Thank you, and I hope to see you in October.